Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Chi Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And you have to sing out every time I say that, huh? All right, Blackbeard, calm down. Yeah, I see you out there. Look, Dioge's laying there nice and quiet, and there's Patches. He's not screaming out. And let's see, there's Gillis. Hi, Gillis. So everybody's okay. And they're laying down right now, right here, because I just took them for a walk around the whole fence line, around the whole 20 acres. Picked up some trash and stuff and brought it back here. Now I'm in the garden, because last night we had temperatures down below freezing, but not that far down. It got down to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing. For those of you in the metric system, you don't have to look that up. I just told you. All right. So I came out to see if it did any damage in my garden, and nope. Appears that the rains, the heavy rains that we got the day before, has had watered everything down really well, and that actually helps keep the plants a little bit above freezing. As until that water down there on the ground freezes, it's warmer than freezing temperatures. So, and it exudes the heat, which wants to rise up from under the plants, keeps the plants from freezing. So I came out to check everything. The pear tree, of course, I've picked the 4 pears off of there and I ate them. And found out this was sold to me as a Bosc pear, and it's actually a Bartlett. So I changed the label on it to say Bartlett so I won't forget. Because as we get older, we forget things. What was I going to say? Oh, anyway, yeah, there's tomatoes on here. There's fresh flowers over here. So they survived that temperature. And over here, got a whole bunch of baby cherry tomatoes. Still all green. But if I get a few days of sun, those will ripen up. My little pear tree survived. And it's starting to shoot up some fresh growth. My avocado survived. So I've got to start planning on getting these things, these trees that don't like the freezing, I got to start planning on getting those protected for the winter. So I'm thinking what I can do is, I got a few more of these buckets around. If I rig up a couple of boards with slots cut in them to put on both sides of here, a piece of 2x4, and then do the same thing with a bucket upside down over the top of the tree. It should keep the heat in and protect the trees, because they're still short and they'll be able to survive in there until the weather breaks and it gets warmer. My onion's coming up just fine. Come over here, and yeah, I still got flowers on this one, and some fruit starting to set right there. I gotta get used to this camera. The camera lenses are in a weird place compared to my last one. You got a nice tomato here. Got a few right up here. So yeah, there's still tomatoes on the plants. My beets, well, I don't know how they're doing. It kind of beats me. Tomatoes over there on that plant, doing just fine. So let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Those are Romas, and that one has quite a few on it. And let me slip on past here. This is the other pear tree that never produced, and I'll show you the grass on that. But yeah, you can see tomatoes down there inside the plant all around. So back to zoom out. So yeah, here's the grafts that I did, and they're still pliable. So we'll see if they make it any longer. I did put grafting wax around the connection to keep water out, because air and water are what will ruin your grafts. So you want to make sure you block that out as best you can. Now on this one, because I had cut the top of it off, I wrapped it with parafilm, and that holds the moisture in. This one I didn't cut the top off. I know that top will drop, but it holds the moisture into the rest of the branch. So we'll see if those two make it. Those are Red Delicious. This is my ambrosia, and it's looking really healthy. So hopefully you'll start seeing buds on those coming in the springtime, late spring, early summer, and maybe even get one apple off the group. That'd be fine, huh? So yeah, everything's looking good. It's still green on these things. Of course, you remember the air layer I did failed a little late in the year, but also I didn't put a tie underneath my container of soil, and in the winds it moved this branch, which was holding the thing from slipping down, and of course it slid down and exposed the area that I had taken the bark off and exposed the cambium layer. So it dried out and the branch died, and that was the end of that one. But I'll get to do it again, because as soon as this thing goes into dormancy, I've got to do some pruning here, and especially around these, because I don't want these growing up through this branch of the pear tree. So I'll prune that branch off somewhere around, say here, right at the Y, so these can grow on past, become the new shade, and leaves that collect the sunlight on this side of the tree. And then where I cut it off here, I'll wax it so that the branch doesn't die, and then in the springtime I'll cut it just below that and graft into it on this side of the branch over here, so that grows straight up through the center of the tree and lets these grow to the outside. So I've been called a mad scientist with my grafts here, but that's okay. I'm mad. No, I'm angry. I'm angry that I was so stupid I let my water run on the ground. So anyway, the grounds are really soaked here. That's a good thing. I've got a big bag of eggshells, crushed eggshells, in the cabin that I'm holding on. And just before I settle this thing by pulling all the dead plants out and turning the soil a little bit, I'll turn the eggshell into it. So by springtime, that's already broken down and released calcium into the soil, which should give me a good start on my next year's plants. So yeah, there's more tomatoes on this side of the plant, and those are starting to get yellow, so those may be ripened here if I get some sun this week. And same over here, lots of tomatoes. I got some blossom end rot on this. That probably because of the location it's at. So no problem. I let them go until they're a little bit bigger, and then cut them off of there, slice them into quarters, toss them into the chickens, and the chickens just love them. So got all of that settled. Let's move around this way. And inside here, of course, this apple tree is in dormancy, but as you can see, it's plenty pliable. It's not snapping off when I bend it. And that one over there has still got green on it. This cherry tree, I've got to get my composted chicken manure over here, and I may do that today and put a layer on the tops of all of these, and then I'll use my claw tool, and I'll stir it into the soil and let it sit in there. And then of course that'll start absorbing the high nitrogen. That's good for the trees, the fruit trees, for the winter time. Now I got a baby fig tree coming up right down there, and that's a good thing. So I don't know if I'll be able to get him out of there and separate the roots without damaging him. So I'm going to let him get a little stronger because he's still all green stemmed. I'll let him get a little stronger, and then I'll see if I can slowly work his root section out of there. I don't think this one's going to go dormant because it's just living here just fine. And the rains, of course, were a good thing for everything here. Of course, one thing I forgot to do was that bucket's got water in it. I should have switched that over to here and opened the cover on that one, that blue barrel, so when it rained, any rain that came through could have been caught in the barrel. Of course, that would have been if I was smart and didn't let my water run on the ground. So anyway, yeah, all the citrus trees look like they're doing fine. It's 88 degrees in here right now on the thermometer, and outside it's probably only about 50. So it stays a little warmer inside of here, even with the doors open. If I close the doors up and put panels on where I've got screen, it goes over 100 degrees in here every day, and I don't need it that hot. So I'll let it sit as is. Hey guys, what are you doing? Yeah, Letty promised to bring you guys some dog chews, some treats, not treats, but dog toys. So we'll see if I can text her, and next time they come down, they can drop them in my mailbox, so you guys have something to chew on other than tree branches. All right. So I've got some carrots here that need to be pulled, and I'll get those into one of my meals later this week because I'm all set already with the leftover soups and stews. And last night I made spare ribs, and I did them inside in the oven, slow cooked them for 6 hours at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and boy, did they come out excellent. Of course, you got to cover them with foil, otherwise they'll dry out. So they were covered with foil, and then right towards the end, for the last half hour or so, I pulled the foil off the top and drained the liquids out, which I mixed in with the dog foods, and they loved it. And then I added the barbecue sauce over the tops and let them stay in the oven for another half an hour, and it caramelized the sauce just right without burning it, and boy, they were just delicious. I ate probably 5 or 6 ribs, and I've got 6 left in a container in the refrigerator, so I can pull those out and munch on them anytime after a minute or two in either in the oven or the microwave. I don't like the microwave though. I try to avoid using that unless it's an emergency. Like I forgot to take a stick of butter out, and it's too hard to spread on my toast. I stick it in there for about 45 seconds or so, and then it's softened up enough so I can spread it on my toast. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Thanks for joining me. This is G Bear saying, don't forget those thumbs ups down there, and don't forget to share and subscribe. This is G Bear signing off.